This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life that we live in. Know we belong on the top, but we ain't tripping, cause we'll get there in a minute. And we'll get there in a minute, cause we'll get there in a minute.
What's going on, everybody? We got a powerful episode, man. We're going to get there in a minute, but we actually going to get there today. Episode 17. As you see, we got Kev back. Last episode was the Kevinless episode. Shout out to Kev. He decided to show up, man. He decided to show up today. You know, he's famous now and shit. So.
And he showed up to pre-production.
He did, right? That's crazy.
He was punctual, bro. He just showed
He was punctual. He was punctual.
I gotta change my ways, man. I gotta do better, man. We all gotta do better.
All right. You know, listen, man. It's good to hear you say that, because when we be on your ass, you know, since we so close, you know, motherfuckers brush that shit off sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's good to have you back, Kev. You know what I mean? We miss you.
Happy to be back.
You know what I mean? It was lacking without you. You know, but that don't mean that you a star or shit. You still ain't shit. You still fourth on the list.
Definitely the fourth man. Especially because you think, bro. We don't. You the fourth man because you're inconsistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
You the Draymond Green of the Warriors right now.
Oh shit.
J.R. Smith.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. J.R. Smith
back in the league. Like, damn, bro.
Henny Kev on deck.
Henny Kev.
But obviously, as we all know, it's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, politics, sports, all that. And obviously, we're still here. We've touched on it before in powerful episodes with Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Elijah McClain, and once again we back again, Jacob Blake. And there's many others, obviously, and it seems like it keeps on happening, with no avail, no care. Same arguments. Breonna Taylor's killers are still free, so we just want to definitely put that out there. Elijah McClain's killers are still free, so we want to put that out there as well. But you know, for the most part, man, this is one of the most key things with all this going on. How's y'all mental, man? How's y'all mental?
Same was before this shit started.
Interesting.
You're a strong dude, bro. You're a strong dude, bro.
I wouldn't consider myself. I do consider myself strong, but I don't think it's that. I came to grips with it a few years ago. I came honestly came to grips with it and was like, this is what it is. We know this shit ain't just start happening. Like we said, we just named off a bunch of names within the last
couple months. Yeah.
Couple months.
Some of a week spans. Yeah.
And these aren't new stories. And when we say that, like, I know, like, far as like this is the first time we like seeing it with our own eyes because cameras and stuff like that are out. But these are stories. Like right now, I'm in the process of reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. Mm-hmm. Just kind of like it was one of those books on Nipsey's list to read, and I'm reading it. It's taking me like a minute to get through the book, just because I got everything else going on. When I get it down, but it's the same shit he was talking about then, going on in the 50s, 60s. Him growing up in Lansing, Michigan. It's the same thing. Literally the same thing.
If they don't put time periods on it or dates, you literally could think they're talking about present day.
So just logically, why should I think that something else is going to change? This is the point where it's actually going to change. Just like logically, why should I do that? You can't. So yes, I do understand it's not the same thing, but I think everything is relative to the time. You got to take everything within that time. So no, they aren't like hanging black people from trees and shit like that.
Yeah, they are.
Facts. I'm saying like blatantly, they're not holding rallies around trees no more. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not on camera. That shit's still happening down south. Please believe that.
As far as we can see.
I don't want to believe that. I honestly, I don't put it past you, bro. In my heart of hearts, bro, I want to believe that they not still doing that. It's not as prominent. Like, we can say that. It's not as prominent as it was.
Yeah, it's not as prominent, but it's just in the news, what, 2 months ago?
It's just moving the goalposts. Whatever the changing the time, changing the guard, it's moving the goalposts. They'll figure out a way to make shit happen the same way, just differently.
Exactly. It's all relative to the time. Yes, as far as like the quality of life, generally speaking, is better.
But with that being said, knowing it's not going to change, obviously we're big advocates. We speak on this daily. We've spoken this before, but I think like what's not talked about is the mental health. So as strong as you are, it's got to be deeming damaging to keep seeing time and time again. Us getting shot down, and then on top of it, the comments that I know has me through a whirlwind of almost feeling like, damn, they really don't think we're human. That's been bothering me. And it's funny you've talked on Malcolm X. I've actually went back and opened up my James Baldwin books and all the collective essays I've got from reading the Native Son to now Thousands Were Lost, and like it's the same shit. He's talking about Uncle Tom now one of the, and I'll read it. I have it saved, but just almost like what it's like to black and what people think of the black. It's crazy. So I think like it's not touched upon on the mental health. Like it's easy to say like we know that this shit hasn't changed, and we're probably all on board. Like damn, it's probably not going to change anytime soon. But like how y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Besides, me and Sesh, obviously we spoke up. Kev, DZ, what y'all?
I mean, I don't know. I've been jaded for a long time because, witnessing this shit firsthand, even back in the hood, and it's just like, the only thing that pisses me off is the responses I see on social media now. Like that pisses me off more than the occurrences pisses me the fuck off, but I expect it. I'm like, you know what? That's not even surprising. They just getting it on camera now. I'm happy that's happening, but what is it doing? Nobody's going to prison. They talk about police. George Zimmerman wasn't a cop. So like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Dude that killed Ahmaud Arbery wasn't a cop.
Ex-cop, but yeah.
Ex-cop and a couple of his thugs and cronies.
Yeah.
But that's what the fuck it is, and that's why I said people always, the first thing they do is run to the rap sheet. What did they do? And it's just like, wait, what? Like, even if this motherfucker did this, that, and the third, he didn't get sentenced from a judge for death, right? He didn't have to go to death row. So because he did this and did that, he deserved to get shot in his back 7 times when the cop had a taser on his hip. They could have caught him at the front of the car.
The crazy thing about that is it's people that are talking about it with glass houses. Like, there's a person we all know, well, not we all, but me and DZ, this dude, man,
His name is Jack. He's a
sucker. He runs his business. The man and him and his boys stole a turkey, threw a turkey off an overpass, and it hit a woman, a innocent woman, around Thanksgiving, trying to see her family. Long story short, she ended up dying still of complications from that injury. This motherfucker goes on talking about all people should be shot, and just simple shit like, bro, you damn near killed an innocent woman with you and your boys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this dude personally is a piece of shit. And everything that needs to happen to him, hopefully something's going to happen to him.
Hopefully no one gets arrested for it.
Yeah, he's a terrible person in the sense that he thinks, and anybody that claims they're friends with him, you're just as a terrible person with him. But it's funny that people will throw these stones in the glass house with a rap sheet, which is crazy to me.
His got cleared because he snitched.
That's
Snitch. He's like the worst of the worst. You're a snitch and you bodied an old lady. Just go kill yourself. Straight from me. Straight from the heart. Kill yourself. Straight like that. No apologies. No fucking apologies.
That's some super sucker shit.
And it's wild because, I mean, if I could really explain the things, how he talks and how he says, And obviously, this dude is obviously highly insecure. You know, I don't even want to talk about his features, but it's clear. Like, he was a person that money kind of let him be the way he was and felt like money was everything because he doesn't have a circle of friends, doesn't have a circle of this. So he's out here trying to still find himself. And it's also weird. He's a person with money, but yet still won't buy a house, like lives with his parents, but doesn't see his privilege. Like 35 plus years old and like, yeah, I got this amount of money, this and that, but you live in your room that you grew up in because you don't want to buy a house because it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just
or more, like you said, I think that's some insecurity, bro. It's not a money thing.
Yeah. And I don't even want to.
Like you said, it's fragile, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to give attention to. I don't even want to give attention to suckers. I don't because there's a million of them right now running around on the internet. But he's just a dude that, people know. And when they watch this, will know exactly who we're talking about. So,
Son's a bozo.
and that's what it comes down to, Kev. Bozo. I actually seen him in person one time, and thank God. I thank God, man. God really has a plan for me. Like, he made sure I kept walk right by him. I was in 7-Eleven, had a Slurpee. My hand was shaking like I should throw it at him and get busy. You know what I mean? But God was like, man, it ain't even worth it. It's not even worth it. And I thank God to this day. And I kept moving. Like, I kept it moving.
Yeah, good, because he's calling the police. He said it.
Yeah.
Blatantly said it.
Mhm.
He said it. He said, if any of you guys put your hands on me, I'm calling the police.
And God got a plan for me, man. That's what I knew. God got a plan. I seen him. I'm looking at him, shaking right now. Everything coming back like 07 Trev. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would have left it. I would have just left the 7-Eleven. I would have been like, yeah, I can't.
I really wanted that Slurpee though, man. It was like, you know what I mean? I needed that. It was either Slurpee or coffee. It was coffee. I needed the coffee. Needed that. It was hot too. Ooh, but but yeah, man, it's just, I think and like DJ said, the biggest thing for me is like the comments.
Yeah.
The comments of people.
So the thing is that like I've been able to get past a lot of it because I've just been diving into work. A lot of other distractions, obviously, life is throwing. Like, congratulations, DZ, on the new young man.
Mm-hmm.
Got the whole basketball team.
Appreciate you.
Got the squad. You know,
Right?
let me know when you want to run that 5. I got nieces and nephews too. So
I hope they're better than you.
full court.
I hope they're better than you.
We could take a charge. But listen, yeah, bro, just diving into work, family, trying to, keep yourself distracted. But the shit's wild because people use those platforms to distance themselves. That's not something you would say sitting down in a room with a group of people. Like, if there was an open forum, let's say we brought people into a room, 100 people, and you had a microphone at the front of the room, just like a open box, text box, and let people stand up there and speak their mind. How many people are really gonna say the shit that they put their fingers to the keyboard to type? My guess is maybe 20%.
That's a high number. That 20% high.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit, like that distance creates so much bravery, bro. That's the biggest battery right now in everyone's back. Is that shit. Because in their day-to-day life, if they come across you and I, they're not saying anything. They're not puffing up their chest like they would like on the internet. So it's like, why put on that persona and carry on as if like this is the way you live your day-to-day life? It isn't. Like, if you find out that I'm a professional that's dealing with you, you're not going to turn around and take your business somewhere else. But yet you'll type about it and say that you would and talk about all this nonsense. But in all reality, what people type is not who they are. It's the persona that they're trying to put on and who they.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing that we don't realize, especially about social media. Well, we realize it. It's an echo chamber. So these people who put this shit on your posts, what they're seeing on their social media, the people they follow think the same thing they do. So that's all over their posts for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
and you are that one person because you met this person one night at the bar, or you had a couple drinks with the person, or whatnot. You know this person through someone else, and y'all Facebook friends somehow. Or you may have worked with this person, but you never really like spent any significant time with that person. But you are this one person on their posts or on their feed that has a difference of opinion in them. So they comment and they get into it. I just think it's the opposite of what we've seen. And that's honestly, those comments, I don't put too much merit into that.
See, and I think you will eventually. And I only say this is because now you're getting into what I deal with, like, heavily, right? You train now, you're doing phenomenal things. You are now dealing with kids now that look up to you. And then now you go on that internet phase of it, and then there's their parents who loved you, quote unquote, for everything you've done for their quote unquote kid. And then now it's completely the opposite. So obviously now from the New York base, I've seen it, right? I've seen, like, literally today, a father was in my DM heavy. Hey, look, I don't train no linemen. Gave multiple people, hey, it's too far, this and that. Hey, I'll give you a strength coach, and I'll still be around to give them any tips possible. Every question in the book you can possibly ask me about sports, life, this and that, recruiting, blah, blah, blah. Guys in the 50s, probably 60s, right? I see him commenting on a friend's post about all this stuff, all the bullshit, right? And then, like, I just had to react at him because, like, you're 50, 60 years old, and then your go-to argument was Ben Shapiro, like, debunked this. I just laughed at him, right? And you'll see it more because now we interact with these people daily. So then it's like it becomes strange, and it's like now you got the business versus morality, and I'm like, fuck it. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, take that business. I don't want that money. That's funny money. I don't care. Like, you know where I stand. Don't bring your son around here. Point blank, period. Like, I don't care. You know, good for your child.
But here's a question, especially since we in that realm. If that kid doesn't believe in the same shit as his dad, but he wants you to still train him.
And his dad gotta have a talk with me. His dad gotta have a talk with me. Because at the end of the day, unless the kid has a job and the kid is saying,
oh, you're saying, like, if it's his dad's money, you're not taking his dad's money.
I'm not taking that money.
Okay, I feel that.
I don't need to take that money. And some people have looked at me differently, and
respect that.
Nah, freak it. I'll take that L. I'll take that L. I don't need that money. Now, if the kid wants to pay me, I'll even give the kid a discount if he's going against his parents' rules. Shit, I got you, bro. I got you. You don't even got to pay the normal price. I get what you're going through, and it's tough to go against morals that you're taught. When when we or whatever teaching you whatever, I got you. I'm gonna hold you down. You know what I mean? And it's to the point. It's like, bro, we're not even on one side or the other. We're just on what's right, and that's morals. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it comes down. That's what it comes down to. And it's like, yo, people are dying. Don't tell me about looting, stealing, and all that is never equated to a person's life. Like, you can get all that back. Like, that is material versus a life. I've never seen you could replace a life.
Can't.
Don't tell me, wow, I was with it until somebody started looting. What? Looting and rioting is voices of the unheard. And until you want to sit there and listen instead of, you know what I'm saying, just saying they're wrong for experiences you've never felt, shut up. Listen.
And I don't like how they down one of them and say, oh, no, you're cool. And it's just like, what, I'm a good nigga? Like, that's what I am because I went to school and I got a family. Like, I'm one of the good ones. Like, no, we're all good. Shut the fuck up. That pisses me off even more.
More than anything, because, like, yo, you don't even know the past I grew up in. I'm the same kid that you judging now. I was that young black kid. I was that you wanted to call a nigga, a thug, everything, running around. I was that kid before I became this man.
Shit, I still am.
Crazy.
I'm telling you, in
I ain't changed. You know that.
2021, I'm telling you, I'm saving the rest of the year bail money. 2021, if this shit carries over, people got to start seeing me like dead ass.
Like I always tell people that, like, oh,
I'm tired.
That's the thing that needs to come back. So listen,
I'm tired.
I'll say it first.
I just don't. Honestly, bro.
People got to start throwing hands again, bro. I've said
with
it.
that. I'm with that.
Back
Like,
up your beliefs,
You
man.
have to.
I'm
Back
with
up
it.
your
I'm
beliefs.
with it. I just don't.
I'm tired. No, I'm
I
fucking
feel you.
tired.
Listen, bro. I feel
I'm
you.
tired, man.
I feel you. I know you're tired. I know you tired. But you, how many you got? You got 5 strong, champ.
5 strong. Yeah.
What kind of bail money you got? You go to jail because you losing your job.
Yeah, I can bail you out, but I can't give you a job again.
I say you're about to
That's when
lose
you're
your
right.
job.
That
When
doesn't
you go
fit
to
fine.
another one of these jobs, is more than likely going to be by.
Nah, I got a side gig.
I
I could do my side gig full time, independent contractor. I'm good.
I think that's what's the real way we can go about doing it. That's all I'm saying. Especially even if you want, I just know these people, bro. I know these people. I seen them. I synced it. I synced them.
I see to them too.
Bro,
Yeah.
they gonna talk slick. You gonna shoot the fair one. They gonna call the police on you.
Fuck it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just give them $1,000 for 5 minutes of their time. Fuck it. Fuck going to jail.
There you go. I like that better.
Fuck going
like
to jail. Sign this form. You agree to this, and let's get it.
Listen,
Fuck
my
it.
energy is simple, man. Shout out to Big Sean and Nipsey. It's simple as this, and I tell people this, man. Watch your mouth. I got reflexes.
That's a fact.
Fuck it.
That's the energy I'm on. I can't tell you what my reflex is gonna do, but watch your mouth. And like, we can have a civil conversation, hopefully, but watch your mouth because I got reflexes.
I just know if I feel like if I'm getting to that point, I'm at the age now where if I can somewhat feel that. I can feel that anger coming on. It's usually, for me personally, it's usually not 0 to 60 that quick. So I can feel it. As soon as I feel it, I'll walk away.
I think, and that's the thing. Like, I think lately, maybe I'm speaking for myself on this.
That's my problem.
I've been 0 to 60 more than ever now because of these combined situations than I've ever been. Like, there was a time where y'all went to college with me, so y'all know I was 0 to 60 at that time. I was a young dude. I've gotten to the point where I'm cool now. Now I'm back to this, like, I'm 0 to 60 because I'm tired of the bullshit. And it's more, I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was all cool to let the players play and let's hear the kids out. Now, where these coaches at? I mean, there's so much that we're about to dive into today that is just like, now I'm very 0 to 60 quick on the situation. And I know that.
I understand
I've
it.
been diplomatic for too long, bro. Like,
Yeah, that's what
that's what I'm saying.
bro.
And that's probably the better question. How long do we have to keep in this for right now? There's all of us, whatever you want to say, if we are the quote unquote good blacks, right? By white society standards. We all got degrees, we all have jobs, we all have homes, we all have families. How long do we have to be diplomatic before everything that we've come from in our environment? And I'm tired of the bullshit. Like, how long do we got to keep being diplomatic?
I don't know, man. I'm just tired of having, like I said, I was always down for the convos, and then I go to someone else's page and see that person that I spent 30 minutes with breaking shit down, that I thought we came to an agreement and understanding, and then they still go over there with the bullshit. And it's just like, just not getting through to you. Like, you don't want to change. Like, and I got to realize, like, there's so much information and access to shit nowadays. Like, it shouldn't come from me. Like, how the fuck do I need to tell you that black people aren't all bad? Like, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. You can't look at a group of people and tell and tell yourself that they're not all bad. It's just like, what the fuck you mean? And then when you have somebody on your side that does shit, then it's just, you know, they're the black sheep. You know, this is what they went through in life. I mean, they were doing it because of this. Like, it's just like, wait, what? So if you're really fighting that, we're saying black people lives matter, like, I don't need to have a conversation with you. You need to go talk to a therapist and figure out what the fuck is wrong with you. So I switch sides. I'm done with it. Sorry. Out. Don't talk to me no more.
I'm indifferent, bro. I realized today, you know how Derek was always talking about he's a human contradiction? I realized I enjoy like plants and like life and composting and recycling and shit. But I also got guns and shit. So like I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of different.
That's not a contradiction though.
I feel like it is to an extent.
Two things can be true at the same time. You can love life and and because you want to love life, you want to protect it. You want to protect that. So what better to protect your life than with a gun?
Right. You be a shooter and environmentalist, Kev.
Okay, I guess. I can hug trees.
Politically, no, that doesn't match up very well politically. But as a person, as an actual human being, it makes sense.
I just think there's going to come a time, and if we are on the brink of it, civil war is coming. And I say that to say this: the question is, when is enough enough? How long do we have to keep being diplomatic?
We should have never been diplomatic. I'm not, listen to me. I'm not saying if you feel threatened, throw them hands up. Like, let's rock. Like, fuck all of the
But that's the thing though. People are shooting.
But true. And that's my point. That's my point with the whole, like, just far as you say something I don't like, as far as like us talking about Jacob Blake or any other situation, as soon as you say something I don't like, I'm throwing hands up. That person may have a gun. You might be on a t-shirt, and I'm gonna feel some kind of way if one of my boys end up getting killed by somebody and they walk off. I wasn't there to protect my homeboy's life and to tell him, no, bro, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And because of that, you fight, and now you on a shirt. And now that you on a shirt, it's not even like, all right, now my homeboy did. I can't, like you said before, you can't bring that life back. I can't get that back. I can't get that. All I'm living off now is memory. So that's all I got at that point. Whereas if you choose not to do that and walk away, you at least have a chance to feel, you actually get to feel angry again. You get to feel like, oh shit, maybe I should have punched his ass or some shit like that, rather than actually doing it. Now you did. And on top of that, more than likely, the dude who shot you
is labeled a hero.
Killed you, is going to be looked at as a hero and is going to get off. And nothing changes. So, no how that shit is going to change.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
So, like you said, we talk about it all the time. We're just, all these things do is continue to, not to say even expose, because we know it's there, but it just puts it to the forefront, the ugly face that is like our society. Like realistically, like this is what we have accepted to be a part of, like this social experiment called the United States. Like we were like, all right, shit, we were old enough to move. Like other countries were available, and like, ah, shit, I guess we'll stay. We'll figure this shit out. The fuck? Like, I guess it can't be that bad.
What do you know about that shit though? How do you leave? If me as a little black boy at 13 or at 18, how do I leave? My parents are now indebted into this country. They owe bills. What money do I have to leave?
And Sesh, that is a great point. Not even about the leaving point. And I'm gonna say this and say this. Kev has Haitian ties, right? So, no, and it's not even to be funny, but if Kev wanted to go back to Haiti, there is actually family there he can go to.
True.
Me, you, and my brother, we don't have a Haiti to go to, a Jamaica, a Nigeria, or any African like we don't have those places to go to. So we are still the outsiders there too, and the outliers. So when people be like, go back to Africa, we are not, like, we're African American, but like our roots are planted here because our history is stolen.
Right.
And that's what I was gonna get to. That's the when people say that, this is why I don't have those conversations as much. With anybody, I feel like we'll eventually get it. It's something different. I'm not having those conversations on
and that's on a deeper level. That's on a deeper level.
But nobody asks the question why. Nobody asks that. No, they don't ask it because they don't care. It's like you said, DZ, I've spent 30 minutes telling this person about why they're wrong, and I thought they understood. Then to go and look back and see them on somebody else's post talking the same bullshit. It's always something. If you don't like something, you're gonna find a reason not to like it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It could be on film. It could be wrote in books. Nothing is going to change.
Yeah, you're right. And let's us double back to what us got to this point. We jumped right into it. If you guys are not familiar with Jacob Blake, was shot 7 times, and we still have no definite answers. Rumors are he was going back to the car to get a knife. Why would you bring a knife to a gunfight? No one knows. But regardless of whatever the case may be, there's a lot of information that is thrown out. And if they was really truly getting a knife, those facts would be out right now, people. Just a heads up. It wouldn't be any more speculation because the cops want to protect their ass.
Release the body cam footage.
Oh, wait. Can't. Body cam footage was turned off.
My point exactly.
Beautiful. Beautiful alley-oop. I'm just catching it.
That's convenient. So there was a story that released that said that there was a knife on the floorboard of the vehicle.
Who gives a fuck?
That either way, whether it's a fact or not, again, it was released in a few articles, but whether it's a fact or not, you can obviously see if someone is trying to get something that's on the floor close to the gas pedal or brake or whatever it is, they'd have to be a lot lower and further into the vehicle than he was. Because I think it looked like an SUV of some kind. I might be mistaken. But
you're right.
Right. So it's like one of those situations that obviously, regardless of, and I've said this to multiple people, that's 2 adults trying to detain and or deal with 3, whatever it may be. It was multiple adults trying to deal with one individual. Tasers are highly effective. If 2 or 3 tasers are deployed into one person, that person will be debilitated unless they are on some type of hallucinogenic or some type of like methamphetamine or some type of shit that's going to make them, some crocodile or some shit that's going to make them do backflips and eat people's faces off. Like, tasers are highly effective. So there's other tactics that are way more effective that would also save a human life as opposed to going to 7 shots. And the reason why I say, like, I'm not the type of person that, I don't post pictures of things and I'm not one that flaunts it. The only people that know that, you know, how I protect my family are those that are close to me. But the reason I say that is because 7 shots is not something that happens accidentally. So please understand that. That is not something that's an accident. They do not have automatic weapons that just continue to fire after you've pressed the button. It doesn't work that way. That is something that your body does in reaction to your finger pulling a trigger 7 times. So please understand that. It's not an accident.
It shouldn't have happened regardless because he was there breaking up a fight. They got called about the people fighting. I'm sure they came and was like, hey, what you doing? And he's like, man, I'm out of here. Like anybody, like you didn't get called here for me. Like I'm leaving. I got my kids. I'm out. You know what I mean? Why the fuck are y'all on me? Like they fighting. Go deal with that. And y'all running behind me. Like That's what's crazy. You didn't get called because I'm here. You got called for what I'm trying to help do. I'm breaking up a fight. You're here. I'm out. My kids, I'm leaving. Why are you hunting me down? I was never a threat from the beginning. There's nothing you could tell me.
But he wasn't a threat at the beginning. But again, the visual threat of a black man in a situation that was
that's stupid.
violent.
That's stupid. Don't even finish that sentence. That's stupid.
Bro,
a black man in the midst of a black man being nonviolent, breaking up a violent situation, saying, "Here you go, I'm leaving."
Yes.
I don't give a fuck because he's black.
I get it.
Like you
I get it,
bypassed the two white girls who were getting into it and telling me that's the threat. Like that's fucked up. And if that's the way you're trained to be thought, like your train of thought is, then we need to revisit how you're trained at the academy.
Like there's something wrong, and that's the simple thing that I think a lot of people just aren't seeing. Fuck his record. Like there is something wrong with the way that law and order is being carried out in the United States. In Arizona, there was a noise complaint. A man and his girlfriend were playing Crash Bandicoot and making salsa. Dude answers the door with a gun by his hip, puts it down on the ground, following orders. As he stands up, he gets shot in the back multiple times. So again, law and order is not happening the way that it needs to happen. It's as simple as that.
I'm gonna go out on the ledge real quick, and I'm going to say that in all actuality, I think these police officers are actually scared. I don't think they're in their heart of hearts. I don't think all of these people think that they hate black people or they think they have a complicit bias against black people. But I think when it like subconsciously, they fear us. Like on some real shit. I think they fear us, and in that heat of the moment, they see a gun and they see a black man. This is like real time, whether it's on that black man or not. So they move, they just assume. Remember, I'm going out on a ledge here. I'm assuming that they think that we're gonna hurt them, and I don't think it's a mistake. Like you said, Kev, it's not a mistake to pull a trigger 7 times. It's definitely purposeful. They're not saying it's a mistake. What they're saying is, my life was in danger. So they shoot to kill. Anybody who has a gun, if you pull a trigger, you don't pull a trigger to wound somebody.
You shoot to kill. Yep.
You shoot to kill.
That's a fact in the training.
All right, so Seth, say right now, a bobcat opens your door right now.
A bobcat?
A bobcat, right?
Okay, no doubt.
We agree that's scary as fuck, right?
Word.
And you happen to have a gun on you, but you see that bobcat. What's your first instinct?
To shoot the bobcat.
It ain't to run?
Fuck no.
And if I have a gun?
It all depends. I don't know. Honestly, it's a fight or flight thing. It's a fight or flight thing. I'm not going to outrun a bobcat. I'm thinking in my head, just like thinking now, not in that situation, just hypothetically, if I have a gun on my hip and a bobcat is running at me, I'm going to shoot the I'm going to try to kill the bobcat.
But you're going to get away to be able to assess the situation, is what I'm saying. So you're going to get the fuck away.
This is a bad one. A bobcat breaks into our own home, I'm putting it down.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is your reaction isn't going to be like this. I'm sorry. You're going to be like, fuck, it's a bobcat. I'm scared of this bobcat. I'm going to get at a safe distance.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. You're going to get at a safe distance. He shot him point blank in his back. You can't tell me you fear something and you're chasing it to the fucking door.
It don't. I don't care whether it's fear or not. That's the point I'm making. It don't matter. The whole thing here that's like it's like alarming is like I think
that was my point. You're not gonna walk behind the bobcat to shoot it. If it's getting away from you, if you really scared, you gonna let that motherfucker go.
I wasn't. If I'm hunting a bobcat,
but now you're making it seem like they hunting. I'm just saying in that instance, if you fear something,
they are though.
Keep your distance. Then that's the issue. Then that's the issue. And
why do you think why do you think it's so disproportionate that we're going to jail?
No, that's what I was.
It's not by mistake. We are numbers guys. We're numbers guys. These things at this rate that is happening, that don't happen by mistake.
Yeah, and that's what I was baiting you to say.
You ain't baiting me. I'm telling you, that's what it
That's
is.
what I'm saying. Bobcat walk in, and you ain't gonna chase that motherfucker out.
But
you like that's crazy to me that you walked to his door and then put the fucking bullets in his back. And you telling me you scared.
they're scared, but they're scared, but they're in an authority figure. And that's the problem.
Scared and authoritative.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's weird.
100%.
That's weird.
Right.
100%.
That's weird.
And also, and I think I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but also remember that these are people that are working. Who the fuck knows how many hours, not getting paid all that much. Who the fuck knows where they live, what they dealing with their fucking families. There are people coming to work and then also have those fears and preconceived notions about the people that they're supposed to be protecting. So they show up to these jobs burnt out and fucking who knows what else they're dealing with. But then they show up and they already have these fears and preconceived notions, and then that's what's happening.
So I hear that. I hear that wholeheartedly. But fuck that. Because like you're in a position to take a person's life. And like you were in a position that is supposed to have the highest of highest integrity.
Understood. Which is why everyone is saying that they need to be held to a higher standard.
The standard that if they're supposed to be like at the end of the day, cops are only supposed to be called when there's a crime happening. You know what I mean?
But there was. He just wasn't involved in it.
Okay, cool. They were called for a fight. A fight that happens daily. A fight doesn't. It's a fight. It's not a gunfight. It's not a knife fight. It is a fight that has to do with your fists, your hands, your teeth, anything on you that is a body part. You don't need to arrive to a scene in a fight with a gun. Now, top that off, you don't need to chase down the guy who broke up the fight with a gun.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, officers, if you really, he was getting his car, he wasn't compliant, bro, there's 3 of y'all. Take his license plate, go to his crib. There's a million ways to do it. The scariest thing now is that he's still alive.
Yeah.
And now, there's an old saying, dead man can't tell tales. You didn't kill this man. So now he gonna get his side of the story off. And the cops fear that more than anything right now.
The thing that really gets me though, which is like what I think makes me realize more than anything how vicious the intentions of people are with what they're saying or not, is the fact that there were 3 children in the car.
Mm.
Like people still like 3 children. I believe the ages were like 3, 5, and 8 or something. I might be wrong with the numbers, but that's like 3 children, innocent children, who don't have anything to do with the crime that was happening or anything at all, or the actions of the adult. 3 children that could have been put in harm's way by the actions of that individual. But yet, people are still talking about the rap sheet of that person. Like, come on, bro. Like really? Like that's where we are as a society? That 3 children were in harm's way and that this is what we're focused on? Like, we have to do way better. Way better.
But honestly, we won't.
3 kids could have been harmed in that incident, but yet we're still trying to defend the actions of someone that could have taken someone else's life. Like, I don't.
Well, they paralyzed him and he's handcuffed to a bed. So, the fuck? It's not like he can go run and play football with his kids, unless he's one of the lucky ones.
And then now you want to go deeper. there now is this 3 kids right there. I'm not trusting the police ever. You want to know how the divide happens? You pull the trigger on a father of 3 kids, and those 3 kids watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
We heard what you said. We saw what you did.
Mm.
I'm not ever.
That's the deep part. That's the deep part right there.
You want to talk about it? We gonna talk
really
about it.
And
That's
people
really
talk
the
about
story.
respect. That's true. Like people were talking about respect the police,
Respect the police.
authority. How?
I've just watched as a young kid,
Mm.
father getting shot for no reason.
How many people do you think you touched in your life? Like far as like your presence, or like people who know you or felt your presence when you were with them. Just like ballpark figure. It don't matter. Just throw a number out there.
I mean,
Just throw a number. It doesn't matter.
I've trained over. Like
From like, well, let's just say 50,000 people. Just in general. Or just let's say 1,000 people.
I'm gonna say easily, no bullshit, over 1,000.
Or let's say 1,000 people. You've had all kinds of things happen in your life that'll put you in situations, whether it be sports wise, just who you are as a person, training, all that stuff. These 3 kids in the back seat, they just watched a police officer shoot their father. I'm not sure. Was it all his kids?
Yeah.
Their father gets shot in the back by a police officer 7 times. Do you think that kid's gonna have any kind of mental damage, like far as like psychological damage from that? Like how many people? Then these are just kids. So how many people are they gonna touch in their life? Like how many? And now that they're affected by this, and we always say hurt people hurt people.
You might have, and this is me being on the positive side, you're gonna have one that somehow sees the light and becomes that, but the other 2 are probably gonna be so damaged. And so was the 3rd one who does make it out, who has a lot of demons that he has to figure out too. No,
that can give you issues, right? That can give you some type of anger issues, right? So
listen. Forget about maybes and the hypotheticals. Like a father pulls over and looks back into the seat and tells his children, "I'll be right back. Daddy's gonna like do something that's
heroic." Heroic.
Like look at my dad doing something good, right? And these young men, the next time their father comes to the car, he's being shot by police officers. Who do you think it was that got them out of that vehicle? Like I understand trauma. I've been trained to deal with children that have been through traumatic experiences. Who do you think took them out of that vehicle? And what do you think they went after that experience? To a police officer. Who do you think questioned them about that incident? Police officers. So for maybe 24 hours after their father looked them in the eye and told them that he was going to do something that they thought was good and he thought was good, that is what those children are dealing with. So it's like, we're like, people are like, fuck, bruh. The mental is so far gone that people literally have lost touch with what actually matters. We are no longer protecting the innocent. Like we've lost that as a society.
We never were.
Yeah, we've never had that.
We never were, bro. These are things. The reason I say this is because these are things that, just like some of the shit you witnessed as a kid, and where we from, it just is what it is. We just happen to be that small percent who actually made it out, who weren't in as dire situations, or maybe were, but we were that small percentage that actually did end up doing something. But what about that kid who did see it and it really fucked them up? And they go on to harness that negative energy for the rest of their life and inflict that shit on other people. And as an adult, nobody sees that kid. They don't
Man.
see that kid and that adult.
It's done with the rap sheet.
Man, they demonized Trayvon for wearing a hoodie.
And I think as we speak on this, right, because a lot of people don't realize the shit that we go through, and we talk about it as a kid, but me and DZ can speak on it in a sense that, yeah, like our father wasn't always, I would say, the most innocent person. Like you won't hear me say like he was always innocent, but he wasn't always guilty. So there has been times, and I know DZ's probably seen it way more than I have, where cops will just come and just harass that man at a time where we could either be at a park, innocent playing, he's shooting hoops with us, normal shit. They come try to fuck with him, right? So then now you fast forward it, and now Sesh said something that was key, the voices that were unheard. And the only reason I could say it from my experience is the only reason I was heard is because I was good at sports. But I had the same person next to me whose father was going through the same experiences, maybe even worse, but wasn't as good as I in sports. So those same people ain't give him the ear. They ain't give him the time. They didn't give him that respect. So that same kid who was, and I say this all the time, was just as good as me. I played with him daily. I'm telling you, he could hoop, he could run, he could jump, he could do all that. But for some reason, you gave me this same opportunity because it's only meant for one of us. It ain't meant for multiple. So now that same kid now is the one that is still the same thing, still seeing the same police shit go through, so still has those negative biases, and it's still the disconnect. And I'm the same kid that saw the same thing, but those teachers, oh, wow, he's really good, right? Because maybe my attitude was as laissez-faire for a half a second compared to his was quicker. And that's how this whole cycle continues. Because like
that's exactly how. Because these children are supposed to then go to school.
They're supposed to go
be taught what's right and wrong, be taught law and order, be taught the government system, the judicial system, what's supposed to happen when someone commits a crime. Like that's what they're supposed to learn and sit there and listen to from what is most likely teachers that don't look like them.
Oh.
So you're like literally like we're literally just built like piling the shit on more and more and more. And then how do you eventually get down to the problem that's just covered in all this shit because you've been having to pile it on for years and years and years. It starts to stink at some point. You hope someone smells it.
It been stink like so yeah.
It stinks now for us.
It been stinking though.
Exactly. It's been stinking. We know that. And like I had to talk with one of my guys the other day. Literally, we talk all the time, man. This kid is special. He's gonna do some special things to the point like will really be hopefully a political figure that could speak and really change some type of trajectory. But I looked him dead in his eyes and I said, I wish I can tell you right now that things were gonna get better. But I said, if I did tell you that, I'd be a full-on liar. And there's one thing you know about me. I can't lie to you. He acts, he's like, Coach, he literally said, Coach, are things gonna get better? And because of, I'm usually positive when it comes to my athletes and my kids. I really make sure I can try to really, but there's some like I got that connection with, and I looked him dead in his eyes as we're walking. And I said, I can't give you that. But I can only give you the game to hope. And it's fucked up. I said, I can't give you how to thrive, but I can give you how to survive.
Bro, this is the one thing I will say. Just to bring a little bit of optimism to try to end the situation. I think it can get better for like Black people in general. But I think the way it's not going to happen if we keep on doing it the same way we've been doing it for the last 60 years or however long. Even if, and that's the thing, bro. I say that, as soon as I try to give some type of optimism, everything flashes in my head.
I was waiting for it.
And I try. I don't know, bro. You're right. You're right. At the end of the day, you can't be right. You can't be wrong when you're right. At the end of the day,
and then I flash forward. Like everybody in here got kids. DZ's the closest to the teenagers, and ours Sesh is right behind.
Nah, I got a teenager.
Yeah.
You're right. My fault. DZ has a teenager, following more teenagers. Ours are gonna be following right behind. Am I gonna sit here and lie to our teenagers? And maybe DZ can speak on that. I can't sit there and look him in the eye and say it's gonna be.
I think
better.
Financial freedom, bro. I say that all the time, bro. I think that's.
I hear that. I hear it. But I think I would say for the most part, even in this circle, right? We ain't billionaires. We not million. You know what I'm saying? But we have some flexibility, and we're okay.
We ain't been broke in a minute. Let's put it that way.
I'm broke.
Yeah, I'm broke. You speak for yourself.
I don't know what you're
but keep it tall in the sense that we are okay financially, right? Like decent, whatever the case may be.
Right.
living.
Do you feel truly free? You really feel okay?
I haven't hit that. I haven't hit financial freedom yet. I haven't hit my financial freedom yet. I'm not to that point.
I still got a mortgage.
And the funny thing is, I guarantee and this is
the pessimistic Trevor.
He's saying I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this because what is truly financially free?
Financially free is not owing anybody anything. Having fuck you money, having your money generate money at a high rate to the point where
now
you don't
your
have,
money works for you. Your money
works. Great. I'm glad. Now, what does that do for you if you get pulled over and you're seen as a threat?
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything in that sense. But if I was to die, I have a legacy to leave on to my kids. I have something else, and they can take that money and go on to still be prominent figures.
But at the end of the day, they could be prominent figures, or they could use that money ain't gonna still at the end of the day replace their father.
It's not. No, don't get me wrong. It's not gonna replace me.
It gives them comfort. It gives them comfort.
It gives my family, my name, a chance to become greater than what it was before. And that's all. As far as my life in general, that's all I really want out of life for me, is to make sure when I leave this planet, my direct descendants are good, and my family name is good because of what I put out there. Whether that be me dead, you can still have an impact after life. We've seen it, Nipsey. We've seen it, Kobe. You can still have a huge impact on people's lives. You can take the person away, but you can't take those teachings. You can't take away what they put out there in the ecosystem. So I'm gone, but that marathon since I brought up Nipsey, that marathon continues, no matter if I'm here or not.
But does it continue for your children or the people that you've reached?
Everybody.
And that's why I say it because it's easier for people. I feel like if I die, right, all my athletes, that marathon can continue and they're going to say what I believe. But then if I look at Vince, it's not going to hit him the same way. And as much as I instill in him, if a police officer was to shoot me down in cold blood, that we talked about, those 3 kids that saw it happen, you can't. I mean, you can hopefully, but
it's gonna.
You know what I'm saying? And
I think it lives on longer with him because
it's different.
I know it's going to be different, but his legacy after that, what he does in this world, is still going to be a part of you. It's part of in those teachings. If he can do that better, of living a life and living on your legacy with money, than not having any at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that's what I say. The only some freedom that we can have in this country as Black people is to have financial freedom.
And
Yeah.
I
And
hear
with
it.
that
I hear
financial
it
freedom,
definitely. And I hear
But
us
I'll-
a lot of the times.
But I'll
and I
add to
think
that.
of.
I'm listening. Go ahead, T.
I just think of, all right, cool, financial freedom, but like, what does that really mean? Because at the end of the day, money ain't gonna ever cure peace of mind. Maybe that's just me.
it will, because
I don't think so.
if you're financial free, Vince doesn't have those same pressure, same problems that those kids are gonna face. Like he can grow up. He can grow up and be like, my dad was killed this way. I'm going to educate myself and choose to go in these fields, and then bring awareness to that and be able to create change.
He could. Like many other people have tried.
I get it, but
Peace of mind, though, when you get the backlash. Hold on, before I go off in the deep end. Go ahead, Kev.
So no, I was just gonna say like DZ like literally like brought up the exact point that I was gonna try to make. Is I think Pop may have been the one that said it, but I may not change the world, but I may inspire the person who does. So
Great.
that's kind of where that brings me. But also to Derek's or to Sessions' point is more that like if you can inspire that person that changes the world within your immediate circle, and you've also provided them with the resources to do so, I completely understand why being financially free makes sense with the morals and the teachings that you will be giving to those that are within your immediate circle.
And I feel you.
I'm seeing those points.
I hear you, but I also know teachings versus emotions. When somebody is gone off of something that is not correct, a lot of times necessarily doesn't always hit correctly.
Emotion.
And I say this as a person that has his, my mom is fully living, whatever the case may be. All the great teachings she's installed in me. If somebody does her wrong, you're not seeing a person that's going to think logically. I don't.
Right.
I'm saying it on record. I don't care.
But I understand that. So everything you're saying is absolutely true. But I'm thinking in the sense of within the system that we live in today, not changing anything, it's better to have those psychological issues with money than to have those psychological issues without money.
100%.
Okay. I won't argue.
I'm not saying it changes the way that you feel. You still gonna feel the same, but it feels a lot better to feel that way with capital than to not have any capital at all.
And have the resources to talk to someone about it.
It's
and
possible
be able to deal with it.
if you get to that point. If you don't go off the deep end,
I'm just saying. I definitely, and it's fucked up as it sounds. I put these multiple scenarios in my mind, like mother, my DZ, like all these things have been in my mind. Like it's just real honestly, because I think we have to, at the end of the day, put it in our mind, which is fucked up. Like it's a thought. Like
this could possibly happen.
It could be any one of us at any given moment.
And that's because that's what I don't think people get. And they saying like you're defending this guy. He had this record. The record doesn't mean anything. I don't care what the record means. That is a life. That's a life. The value of life is what I'm saying. Like how much people don't value life.
Right.
In particular, Black life. They don't value it.
Like we are out here really just speaking on the truth. Like it could be any one of us, and I put it all in my mind. Like damn, I just don't. And like I know me. Like everybody. Like I'm a wild card at times. Like so, I don't know how I'm gonna react.
With that being said, I'll say that I think that the three of the four of us were in a situation where me usually being the most logical, calm, straight and narrow. Like usually I'm the calm one. I'm the one that's gathering people together. Let's hold hands.
Yeah, that's you.
Right. But there was an evening where I just wasn't having the shits, and I was giving it to some officers verbally. And it wasn't like I probably shouldn't have been going about it the way that I did, but I did.
No.
Right, like in that situation, I probably was wrong. But again, like what they're seeing and what is reality in terms of like the rap sheets and all those other things. Like in that moment, we had logical thinking individuals that was obviously able to narrate the situation and say that this big drunk ass idiot is just spewing off at the mouth and is not a threat to you or anyone else. But again, in that situation, like if they have those preconceived notions and they show up to a situation, there's nothing that can be done or said to really change anything at all. But like you guys brought up, you said resources, like being able to put forth a word or put forth a message and whatever else. I feel like the NBA players, they kind of feel that way too. It could be any one of us. So I think that's one of the reasons they're choosing to use their platform to do what they did. So do you think this, like, where is this strike's going to take them? Like, where are we going from here? Like, is this actually going to bring us anywhere? Like, are they going to actually get the owners to put up some money, make some changes, make a difference? Like, is this strike actually going to do everything?
They're not asking the owners for shit. They're just asking for people to get charged accordingly. It's bringing national spotlight to that.
No, I think they asking the owners.
Yeah, they ask the owners.
They asking.
Yeah, they ask the owners.
Because that's what Brown was saying. He's like they have the like, again, the financial capital to make those efforts a real like thing, to actually put forth a change and funds behind those changes. So I don't think that it's gonna get anywhere, because again, the sentiment is usually like these dudes don't have anything, like they're rich guys. They're not connected to this problem. That's the disconnect that I feel like a lot of people have. It's like these guys have huge houses in Los Angeles and whatever they live, New York, Long Island, the Hamptons. They don't really give a damn about any of that shit. It's like they're just doing it to do it. It's free promotion. It's good tax like write-offs, you know? So, and that's what usually I feel like people, the public kind of puts off on these superstars and these athletes, because they don't have to do it. The NHL decided to take a strike. Did anyone expect that shit? Probably not. Hockey fans are probably pissed the fuck off, but I bet they knew why the fuck it happened. So again, it's like I get that bringing the awareness is something that's really important, but where does it then go? We've talked about this with the big markets and the chain stores and these big companies. Like, what's actually going to happen? Are these owners going to put together their money? The NBA already put up $300 million. Like, what's next?
Money to me ain't the answer, man. It's action.
Playoffs are next. That's it. They're going to play basketball, bro.
I'm worried about action. I don't worry about money. You throw out money, so what?
And that's the thing. What is action? And I'm asking truly because I don't know anymore at this point.
I think money is a good start. I'm not I'm about the capital.
I know you are. You're about the capital. You've been saying that, but
yeah.
Have we not put that capital up? I don't think this is the first time that money has not been put accordingly.
It's about using the money responsibly, though. Like you can donate money, or you can say, you know what, we're not playing anymore this season until those cops are charged accordingly. I'm willing to lose this amount of money and sit out however many games we need to and still pay my players, and we're not going to entertain you until my players feel like they're locked out.
The owners have to pay the players.
That's what I'm saying. And that's the way you do it. Instead of throwing a couple million at it, pay your player the millions of dollars that they were going to make that game. That's why I said use it responsibly. Don't just throw it at a problem, because where the fuck is going?
If justice is all you want, yes. If justice is all you want, that's a great way to go about it.
What else do we want?
I'm twofold on it, because now right? Let's be real. The owners aren't going to make money if the players don't play.
But if they're going to donate money, they're going to lose that money regardless.
Yes, yes. It in the grand scheme of things.
Just use it more responsibly.
Yeah, but I think we also have to realize that the money the owners do pay the players, this is thinking to the other side, puts us in a position to do certain things that we want to do silently, out loud, publicly, right?
Mhm.
Because if now they're not getting paid, that sets things back from the people that do have the certain capital to make change. Right? You have it's a double-edged sword. You take away money from the people that give black wealth, right? They're a large percentage of the players that are responsible for black wealth. You take that away to do this, then they can't do X, Y, and Z.
That's why I said the only time that we can actually have freedom is when we no longer depend on someone else. If you're dependent on somebody for a check, then you're not free. If you're an NBA player and you got outside ventures, like say a LeBron James, I don't need this check.
But see,
I am a business at that point.
But the way the world works, regardless, and hear me out.
I'm listening.
You always depend on somebody for a check.
Not true.
No.
You depend on relationships. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You depend on relationships and connections.
Hey, you need customers.
You depend on your customers. You do.
So that's people for a check. You need people for a check.
But that's the thing is, my customers are gonna. If I'm an NBA player, my customers I have in a different business isn't affected by me not playing basketball.
Okay. Yeah, yes and no.
No, supply and demand. You're talking. We're talking about depending on people to.
I know, but at the end of the day, you still are depending on X to make.
I'm not depending on the same people.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
If I'm a black player and I have a business and my customer base is black people, and I'm not sitting down because I'm not playing for black people, they not gonna give a fuck. They gonna still vote.
But you also have to make sure that business is doing what it does, profit-wise, in order. Every business it's never that easy to say, hey, this is what it is. To support this. That has to be
depending on what you're doing. Real estate is real estate. Everybody needs a place to live.
Okay.
Some people rent. It don't take a rocket scientist to go buy a house, especially when you have that type of money, to buy a house and then fix it up to rent it to somebody else, whether it be a black person or not.
I hear you.
It depends
so
on
that.
But there's still a lot of stipulations and stuff that come with it, and there's education that has to do with it.
Absolutely, and that stuff that's free. You can get educated. You have money. You have capital. You can get education to do these things. You don't have to be dependent on the NBA check. 100 solely independent. Dependent on it. Like if this is gone, I can't move how I want to move. You can't be so dependent on it where it changes your morals. Like you said,
I don't think certain things change your morals. So I think
you just told me, Trev. You just told me just now if a player's dad he says some shit, I need to have a conversation with you before I take that money. Why is that? Because I'm not dependent on this person. Now, if you were dependent on that person, your morals might change a little bit.
But that's me. That I don't expect that from everybody else.
But if you work for me, you were going to deal with that person.
That's
the difference. Like you own the product, so you can make that decision. But if you work for me, and that was my client, and you're handling the task for me, you're going to do that.
But that's on one instant, right? That's on one instant where I'm okay. But I also work in a business where I'm sure there's a lot of parents that feel the same ways as that I don't align with that I probably coach.
And you're proving our point.
And that's what
I'm in both situations. Where there's one, I don't need that money because I have this job that pays me regardless.
That's 100% what Session's saying. You just reiterated his point.
Okay. All right.
And what I'm saying, and this is another thing. It would be different if we're talking about a regular person. We're not talking about regular people. We're talking about the 1% of the country. People who play in the NBA. It might be even be small. It's probably smaller than that.
True.
Right.
Percentage-wise.
But
these aren't regular people we're talking about.
What we're talking about, though, is the thoughts that they're going through, because they have to also think about the money and how they're providing for their family. Like, them sitting out for the rest of the season not only affects the owners, but it affects their pockets too.
Yeah, like, we don't understand the cost of whatever they're at, taxes.
Right.
We don't understand what they have going for us to just say certain things.
So I was saying that money, my whole thing was that money I think it would help it in some type of way. And DZ was saying that it has to be spent in the right way. If it is going to be money, it has to be, if you're not going to sit out, if you're not going to risk it all to get justice. If justice is what you want, that's the easiest way to get justice. It's for you to hit their pockets. And the biggest way for you to hit their pockets is for you not to play. Now, like you said, Trev, I understand that some people can't do that. You can find some middle ground in there where the owners, we can find something here. You can give some money, and it's going to be directly to this. We tell you how we want it spent. This is how we want it. We can come to terms. Everybody's like, it can be somewhat of a win-win situation. It could be.
It could be 100%. I agree with you.
But instead of fucking throwing 50 mil at this, that's what I'm saying. Pay your players for sitting out the rest of the playoff, because we're looking at the contract as a whole. They only got like 10 games total, and that's for the champion.
They
got something crazy like that. So it might be even less than 50 million paying them. But that's what I'm saying. If you use it, like, that's a bigger voice than just saying I'm gonna throw 50 mil to this cause and write it off.
So there's 16 teams playing right now to 32. Right? Is it 30? How many teams are in it?
I don't know how many teams is playing right now.
It's 16. Yeah, no, 32.
8 seeds, right?
Yeah, 8 seeds, yeah.
Yeah. So you're only really, if you, like DZ just said, playoffs, only 16 out of 32 teams are getting paid.
Yep. And some of them are not getting paid anymore because they got sent home.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's half ain't getting paid till the season starts.
They don't get paid the same. They get paid year round.
Exactly.
They don't get paid like that. That's what you're saying.
But they've already been paid though. They get paid like kind of like salaries though. So it's not like you're giving somebody making 20 million. You're giving them 20 million in the playoffs. Like it's averaging over games. So it's not as big as it looks on paper right now. That's what I'm saying.
It depends on who signs for what, who has the contract. Because there's guys on minimum. There's guys, there's rookies. There's a lot of everything that plays in. We're only talking about the people. The money we're talking about is the LeBron James, the Kawhi Leonard, the Russell Westbrooks, the contracts that we know are guaranteed. Because we all know there's the guys that are on 1 year that have even been in the league for 13, 14 years, but have bounced around.
Yep.
So there's a lot to it. And listen, I'm on board. Hopefully they could pull some money, do some things that there is that cause, which has been done. Let's not get that. Like LeBron has a school, Stack has a school. Like there's people that have schools going on. There's a lot of things going on. So I don't want us to think like this. It's all shit that's not going on. There is things going on, but
really,
it's also showing that it ain't enough, which is scary.
I mean, more people do it. We need to up the number of people who are doing it. That's why I think that's I think that's why Trev, you got aim. I just think it needs to be that's where the focus needs to be rather than us marching.
And we need to up the people supporting.
That's what.
Or we need to up the nigga that's supposed to be putting together a curriculum, but we ain't gonna say his name.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
He'll get there.
A lot more work with this. So I'm figuring it out.
All I was saying was you get something and I'll fine tune it with you. Give me something.
Bro, I got you, bro.
You don't. But
we'll get there in a minute, T.
Yeah.
You see, he still got boxes in the crib. He ain't making no fucking curriculum.
That's why.
He moved to this crib in May. He got boxes.
Fuck out of here, bro. I think I have so many fires, bro.
Honestly, this is for the viewers. As far as you see, there's a lot of emotion. There's also a lot of that people don't talk about us. As far as Cap said it earlier, we've keeping ourselves active and busy so that we can keep ourselves distracted off of it to not necessarily feel. So understand this, everybody that's listening, listeners, we have conditioned ourselves mentally and physically to almost not feel everything that's going on. We've been able to compartmentalize from things we've seen as a youth to now all in our 30s. That isn't normal. So when we talk about Jacob Blade's kids, let me talk about innocence. So everybody that has had the chance to grow up as a kid and play outside, play outdoors, their parents cook s'mores, all that good stuff, and also just be a kid, guess who can't be a kid anymore? That's Jacob Blake's three kids. They have just lost their innocence at a young age. And now if there's any time ever, understand that many black men and women lose their innocence early as a kid more than any other human being in America. And I say that to say this because there's probably any of the listeners that are not black haven't had to talk at a young age when you can finally be alone or ride your bike in the street by yourself, how to interact with the police, how to interact with anybody other that doesn't look like you.
Avoid them.
Talk about it.
Avoid them.
Talk about it.
I was raised to avoid them.
I was thinking about my life, and like, only reason I ain't been caught, every time I see the police, I ran.
Yeah.
Ran. And ain't done shit. I'm out.
I'm more afraid of the cops than the shooter.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Cops come, we out. Bro, we could be playing basketball shit. Oh, that's the cops. We going in the backyard. No reason at all, kids. Because we knew. So if there's anybody in here, and there's any important thing you could take away, listen to the innocence, and I'm sure you guys did not have to worry about that. Cops probably came by and waved to you. Cops came by out here and tried to make patted us down. Talk like it was going like, what do you mean what's going on? We're playing basketball on the street. Run. Nick, run, get out of here. Let's catch you at the spot.
So there's something ironic that I just thought of is there's something called the Innocence Project, and it actually has to do with getting people out of jail that have been sentenced to life sentences. But should there be something that's out there to preserve the innocence of the children that are exposed to what they're being exposed to? Because maybe that's where we should, or not to say that we shouldn't direct our energy in that area, but
what the hell are you talking about?
Maybe we should also.
What the fuck are you talking about? Let's preserve your fucking brain. Let's preserve the minds of our audience. Ignore that shit. Don't even cut it out the podcast. Yo, nah, man. Preserve us.
Yeah, let me finish, bro.
Take one less pull of the weed. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, let me finish.
No. It wasn't getting any better. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
Nah, you got it, bro.
Go ahead, finish. The innocent project.
What do you mean preserve it? Would it be on some ice?
I thought you was talking about a study, like some shit that just actually happened.
Nah.
I thought we was like dead or fake dead, and they put us in one of them freezer pods. Preserve us.
Yeah.
No, bro. What I was saying is that we should try to preserve the innocence, like keep the innocence of the young by teaching them things and having something in place.
You saying before they parents get shot in front of them.
Right.
Bro, and I'm
Before
gonna keep it real
before
though.
they see the-
I'm gonna keep it real though. If we're teaching them, whatever the case may be, we are taking away their innocence.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Like,
what?
in his mind, he was like, "Yo, I'm about to kill it with this. Yo, I'm telling you, this is the one."
I tried to be,
And I knew where he was going with it.
I knew where he was going.
Stop. I'm like, stop.
Understand?
Preserve
but
the
listen,
innocence by
So
taking
what
it
I'm
away
saying is,
before it happens.
what I'm saying is so what? The know your rights, the know your rights stuff that Kaepernick is doing. Do you feel like that's taking away innocence?
Yes, but it has to be done. Yo, it's not like, look, my mom ain't want to tell me how I had to interact with the police and what happened. The police happened to come in and scoop me up as a kid. And
Yo, DZ,
how
bro,
I
I appreciate you, bro.
Yo, we should make a preserve
Look up,
the
kid.
innocence project
Yeah.
and completely take it away. But like, we preparing them for this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, son, I could be shot in the car. You need to deal with this.
this is how you deal with that.
What the fuck? My kid just like, wait, why are you getting shot? Yo, white people. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yo, listen, bro. That's why. Listen, that's why we need to balance. Shut the fuck up, kid.
We needed that.
preserve your innocence, kid. We're going to take this shit away when we explain this shit to you.
Listen. I thought, in my mind, there was a connection there, but
I know.
the shit was like.
I tried to save you. I tried to save you, and you finished it, and I'm like, God,
oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what. Honestly, bro. That's what happens. That's what happens when you try to make sense out of nothing.
Yo, you're right.
Like not. I'm just like take away from what you're saying. You trying to figure out a solution to something. There's no solution.
At the same token, this is why we feel like shit ain't gonna get better. We have literally trying to recreate the wheel, figure out different things. We understand now, like, look, protests ain't working. Obviously, we had a freaking national protest across the world. The world. Shit ain't mean shit. Cops went and shot motherfuckers the next day. And I don't want to say motherfuckers as I'm disrespecting the dead. It's just like I'm so upset. So therefore, like, I don't even like the curses just help me somehow get out any feelings. So like national protests haven't worked. Protests before, right? People have been protesting. Everybody loves to show off Martin Luther King because he somehow has been the example of how we should do things, but he was a million-man march protest. Don't do that shit. All right? And at the end of the day, Martin Luther King was shot down too. So however, whatever, I ask this, I challenge anybody that says they feel a certain way, how should we protest? Looting doesn't work. Rioting doesn't work. Protest doesn't work. Talking about it doesn't work. Having these fucking uncomfortable conversations with a black or white person doesn't work. Somebody tell me what left is there to do. Pooling money doesn't work. LeBron James started a school doesn't work. Maybe it works in a sense, cool, but like clearly ain't working.
It's not.
Like we say, the theme of everything that we do is we can only hope that we can get there in a minute.
And let's go to this point, right? I know. This was like it all started out with the shooting kids in the car 7 times in the back, and then from that spawned riots. From that, you get a militia of people, and a 17-year-old kid ends up taking a life.
Two.
I don't know whether black or white.
Two white guys that shot multiple people.
And so what I'm going with, it is a black and white thing, especially for us. But just like that, my big thing is the value of life, bro. The value of life. So whether looting or not, like I said, like once they loot Target or wherever it may be, they have a chance to eventually open that store again. Once you take someone's life, that person does not come back. It's no revent, like it's no that person doesn't come back. That mother doesn't get her son back. That son doesn't get his father back. That or whether it be a mother or whether it be a guy or a woman. It's just, and then to go back on the whole like social media shit and the backing of these people, just to see that people still see this person as a hero and you should take somebody's life. This guy, like, he didn't do anything wrong. He was protecting his city. So
Wasn't even his city. That wasn't a city.
Cross state line.
No matter how you feel about these people and what they're doing, it's no way that you truly believe, if you actually value all life, that because these people are burning material things or wrecking material things out of frustration or whatever you may feel about it, it's no way that you truly believe, if you value life, that these people should die because of that. Man. It's very few people, I think, in this life that I would be completely okay with you just taking them off the planet. Just go ahead and kill them. Mm-hmm. And for me, that falls for like child rapists, dudes who like rape women, like habitual, like shit like that. Those people, I don't have a whole bunch of remorse for. I do value life, and maybe they can rehabilitate themselves, but I don't know if I want to chance it enough. And if somebody said like, we're just gonna kill them, all right, whatever. But like for somebody burning a store, nah. Or I just don't see it. I don't see it.
What I'll say, Sesh, is that you're like you've said it on multiple occasions. You're putting words to something that doesn't quite make sense. You're attempting to make sense out of nonsense. Like the actions of that individual isn't like logical. 17-year-olds don't travel across state lines with like weaponry to protect. Like I don't. Again, this is not something that is typical to a 17-year-old individual. But yet in America, this is someone who is now deemed a hero and is only in a juvenile facility, probably won't even get charged as an adult.
Man, listen, that fucking college student that raped that girl, the judge gave him minimal jail time because of the way it affected his life. So I don't want to hear this motherfucker had a sexual assault on his rap sheet and he deserved to die. Y'all suck my fucking dick. Point blank period, we need more white people standing up. If you my friend and you love me and I mean something to you, I need you to step the fuck up. I need your voice to be heard. And I need you to share that same sentiment with every fucking body. Simple as that. If you're white, I marry you and you're fucking silent on this shit, I'm taking it as disrespect. That from now on, I'm taking it as disrespect. And I hope you motherfuckers watch this podcast. If you're my fucking friend, you smile in my face, you text my phone, you say, I love you, your life matters, and you don't voice that shit publicly, and you posting stupid ass memes, it's disrespect. Simple as that.
Right. And I understand that distance. Like they understand that those relationships close that distance. Yeah. So posting that shit and not having that presence and putting out there who you really are, that shit's important. So and I completely agree.
And I think before we start to close up and wrap up, understand there's three different things to this all. There's the protesters who are there to peacefully protest, march, do whatever they have to do to get their voice heard. There's the rioters, right, who are fucking fed up, tired, and are disagreement in a sense with that protesting isn't going to work because they've seen that happen right? Since I always like to say, white people's favorite person is to speak on Martin Luther King since the Martin Luther King days, right? Now there's your looters. So they're all three different. Your looters right now, that you have to ask why on every single one of individuals. Why are they the protesters? Why are they the rioters? And why are they the looters? The looters are simply there because, one, most of the time they're from the bottom. They don't have much. So they're right now is their time, right? That make America great again, do all this stuff. America's such a great place. This is their time to get the things that they actually need for prices they can't afford. So there's everybody that has three different things. And then you ask anybody that is listening to this, and just ask the why first. Why are they protesting? And then, okay, cool. If you can dissect that and understand that, then there's a conversation behind that. Why are they the rioters? Rioters are the voices that are unheard. You haven't heard them. They are hurt. They are angry. And believe it or not, these cops that are supposed to be trained professionals, right? These rioters don't have the same training that police do. So if the police are scared and the police are so quick triggered and doing a lot of things based off reactions, what do you think anybody that's not in police training is going to do? And then you have your looters. And if America is so great, understand why there's looting, understand the poverty, understand these things, right, that people are willing to do. Because looters aren't just not only lootering, if that's the word I'm looking for, but they're also putting their lives at danger. Burning buildings that are on fire as they're going through, trampeding themselves. There's things that they're doing that they're putting themselves at risk too. So just realize that if you can.
this nigga just say lootering and trampeding.
Yeah, I was hot for a second.
I couldn't hold it no more.
I was definitely gonna say something to you, cuz I was gonna let you get your point off.
Yeah. Listen, man. Listen, I thought I was hot. That's a boomer right there. Hey, I was hot.
You was making
Listen,
it. Just saying,
people are
right
risking,
there, bro. You was reaching for it. I got you.
People are risking getting trampeded, right?
Trampled and stampeded. They're looting and getting trampled.
Yeah, they're risking getting trampled. Thank you.
Wow.
So that's why we all need each other. But
like, in all honesty, though, the crazy thing is that the looting shit, that's not always people from that city. Like, it's been proven in the previous situations that people are coming from outside of the city to do that shit and then, like, get it set it off pretty much and then take off and be like, all right, shit, look, they looting.
Fuck, where you from? Where you from? What socioeconomic status you from? There's no reason. If you decide you want to do that shit, you want to go in there and break the law, you want to steal some shit, there's no reason that you should die because of it.
Nope.
No, it's no situation you're gonna put in front of me. No, what person it is that I'm gonna actually believe because you did this, you went and stole some shit, that you need to die because of it.
Man, Target got insurance.
No situation you're gonna give me.
And also, I think what people need to realize is the whole law and order thing. No one person should be able, for whatever crime someone committed in the past or they're committing in the present, unless they are literally like going to take that person's life or someone else's life, like you shouldn't be able to decide in that moment, I'm going to take this person's life because I'm threatened. Like that's not, there's law and order for a reason. I'm talking about as someone that's like that's meant to uphold the law, they shouldn't be able unless they are directly, like clearly threatened. We need to define, and that's the problem. There needs to be a definition of what threat and or danger actually are.
But you can't put a definition to a feeling. You can put a definition
to fear, but you can put definition to someone brandishing a weapon. If someone physically has a weapon in their hands, that's danger that is present. If someone is saying that they have a weapon, that's not present danger. If someone is reaching for something you can't see, that isn't present danger.
It's no definition that's gonna make it any different. You can put okay.
Well, okay.
The definition.
There is a definition. So for knife rules for police, do you guys know what
Okay.
it is?
Yeah, it's out.
Nah.
Yeah, it's that's why we
I
kept
don't.
talking. I'm like, no, it's outlined.
So it's called the 21-foot rule. So the 21-foot rule was a measure of distance that was related to the time it would take for an officer to recognize a threat. I'm reading this because I know about it and I wanted to make sure I was perfect. A threat to draw a sidearm and fire 2 rounds center mass against an attacker charging with the knife or stabbing. So the 21-foot rule. So based off that rule that is actually in place, if Jacob Blake, we know his back was turned, so the 21-foot rule is therefore null and void.
Okay, so
That's
then
exactly
again,
what I was saying earlier.
Oh, there is rules, and that's only one that I know because the police officer told me to look that up. And there's many different ways to
put a connection to it. We've all been experiencing what social distancing, right? We know what 6 feet look like. 21 feet is about 3 times what we are expected to do for social distancing. So let's mentally put that into our heads.
But I'm mentally also putting
what 21 feet is supposed to feel like.
Mentally putting that in your head when
that's 5 shopping carts, bruh. 5 to 7 shopping carts.
But I'm mentally putting that in your head when that rule comes up and he's gonna get off.
Right. And that is why
I just fucked it up right there with the 21 foot.
No, but that's what I was talking about with that Bobcat bullshit I was saying. Like, that's what I was saying. Your instinct back up, create space. When I said he chased him into the door and shot him in the back.
But here's another one too. There's also the 21 rule has long been used by police officers. Essentially, it says when an assailant is wielding a knife in closing, that they will cover 21 feet, and the time it takes for you to draw your fire to draw and fire your gun. That's a lot of ground. It also puts intense pressure on a person drawing the gun.
Yep.
And and what you saying, DZ, is correct. If the Bobcat comes in, I'm going to create space.
Yes.
And then I'm going to shoot.
Thank you.
And you're absolutely right in that. But I'm going to still shoot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's obviously these weren't good police officers. They weren't good at their job. They shot somebody 7 times in the back, and they didn't know that it was 3 kids. At least I hope they didn't know that it was 3 kids sitting in the back seat of that car.
Let's not pretend like they gave a fuck.
You know what? Maybe that's the issue.
I'm gonna say they didn't assess the situation well enough. Or if they assessed the situation well enough and they knew the kids were in the car, they would have at least known that it was, if he was reaching for a weapon, where a weapon would have been.
And that's probably why they ran up on him, to miss the kids. That's what I'm saying. The body cam was off conveniently. Yeah. He probably said, man, I'm going to my motherfucking kids. Y'all leave me alone. And they ran up on him to avoid that collateral and shot him in his fucking back for disrespect.
So again, we act as if that like this is the first time this is happening. I believe his name was Philandro Castillo. There was a child in the vehicle when he was reaching for his wallet, and they fired on him multiple times.
Yeah.
So again, that was a situation that people were like, "Oh, why is she on Facebook?" This individual fired a weapon with a child within 2 feet of the suspect or whoever it was that was in danger. And again, to think that this person is going to put a child in danger as well as the officer in danger, that's a lot of connections that you're making in that instance. So again, we've lost the connection between protecting, or maybe it never existed, but protecting the innocent is something that we've lost a hold of, and it doesn't exist.
We don't value life. A lot of people don't value life.
And maybe this is it. Maybe this is me, but we should think about, like Seth said it best, on accident. They weren't doing it. No, because it's truth, but it's actually, when you think about it, it shouldn't be the truth. He was like, they weren't good at their job.
Mm-hmm.
the fact that somebody can not control, but they can take a life.
Yeah.
And it's a life.
It's a job, right?
And it's a job. Like
That's
when you think
that's
about
why-
that, and you think about a job, right? What about jobs, right? Jobs you have plenty of. Jobs, careers, you can have plenty of. You can change it, right? There's certain things like that are when you're dealing with human life.
You look at doctors. Doctors have what? Liability insurance. Why wouldn't you make it because of unions and stuff? That's why. I know, like, we know the answer to the question, but it would make sense with all these situations happening that if officers carried individual liability insurance, that these incidents would not happen as much. Like, that's all that it is. Like, they are in direct contact with individuals where they can influence whether or not someone loses their life. Just like a doctor, just like someone like anyone else who, like, pilots. If a pilot flies drunk, what happens? He loses his license and he probably goes to jail.
No, he
So
be like,
you use your gun in the wrong way. Why shouldn't that be held to the same standard? But again, the views on that are so unclear because there's no clear definition.
Because they were overseers.
Right.
That's all.
Overseers to a system that was in place.
And
to
now
keep a group marginalized. Right, exactly.
But we've been rocking for a while.
Right.
So, I want to definitely slow it down. Obviously, you guys can see that the passion, the hurt, so we just challenge you guys to think differently, think outside the box on any situation.
Logically.
Yeah.
Think logically. Think of it. You can't put yourself to be black if you're the opposite shoe, but you can also think about if this was your family member or whatever. And there's also some of you, when I say that just show that the compassion for family is lackluster. But really just to think about it, man. This is not politics. It's not a left or right situation. This is a human being point of view that you can't get a life back. So remember that. But I know we're dealing with a pandemic, but the real pandemic is what we've been going through constantly. That shit ain't ever end. Because through every pandemic, the one thing that's been consistent is the injustice and treatment of black people. And that's facts. That's throughout history. So this is the real pandemic.
Facts. And like I said, the white allies, man, it's not your fault, but it is your fight.
Yeah. So if you're with us, if you're not, then we know where you stand.
Something you've been seeing during all this pandemic talk and COVID-19 is we're in this together. Remember that.
And remember, the NBA ain't suspended. The NBA didn't suspend the games because they started having outbreaks off the second part. They suspended the games because of the racism and the injustice going on in the world today. That's more telling. But we out. We out.
This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life that we live in. No, we belong